Did you know that the cars are cannibals? In the book The Art of Cars 2, there's a poster showing a meat cut chart. But in this case, it isn't for meat, but for cars. Some of the cuts include fillet of window, fender flank, and trunk roast. Did you know that in Rescue Squad Mater, Mater's eyes are usually hazel-colored? But when the episode shows him as a fire truck and a doctor, his eyes are blue. Monster Truck Mater is confirmed to be canon, as there is a poster for Monster Truck Rustling with Mater as a contestant appearing at Thunder Hollow in Cars 3.
Introducing the Tormentor!
In The Incredibles, a 1951 Hudson Hornet can be seen in the background during the final fight scene, 2 years before the release of Cars.
Oh, is that right?
In Tokyo Mater, when McQueen and Mater are sliding in the oil, Gibbs can be seen graffitied on the ground. This is a reference to Rob Gibbs, the writer. The Italian dubber for Luigi is stand-up comedian Marco Della Noce. His performance in this movie is loosely based on one of his routines as a Team Ferrari mechanic. Also, since Guido speaks Italian, they gave him a thick Modena accent to sound different from the other cars. Modena is the home of Ferrari.
Hold up.
The top-down truck stop, where Mater and the gas caps played, was originally seen in the movie Cars, when Max starts to get tired and wants to rest. The idea of Mia and Tia being waitresses at the top-down truck stop comes from a deleted scene from Cars, which can be seen on the Cars DVD.
I'm Mia. I'm Tia. We're twins. Can you tell?
The flowers in the Cars world are made of car taillights. Sterling is a billionaire known as the Mudflap King of the Eastern Seaboard because he owns a mudflap company. He is voiced by Nathan Fillion, who ironically played Preston Northwest in Gravity Falls, a rich capitalist who owns a mudflap company as one of his investments.
Dad?
Not now, sweetie. The grown-ups are talking.
Did you know that Insuracare, the company that offers car life insurance to the cars, is the same company Bob Parr works for in The Incredibles? Max Jocko Flocko Party Supplies disguise, featured during the Demolition Derby in Cars 3, is a tribute to Jocko Flocko, a Reese's monkey who served as a co-driver to racer Tim Flock in the early 1950s. Jocko's career lasted 8 races, including winning 1 race. Jocko's career ended after the monkey got loose from his seat, became frightened, and began jumping on Flock. Flock was forced to pit, costing him the race money and an additional $1,500.
Honestly, Ben, you really me here.
The end of Mater Private Eye. Tia says,
I'm not bad, Mater. I just drive that way.
This is a switchblade of the quote,
I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way.
made famous by Jessica Rabbit in the 1988 film Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Did you know that Smokey calls Doc Hudson Hud?
These folks are gonna get a kick out of meeting Hud's boy.
Who's HUD?
This is a reference to a movie called Hud, where Paul Newman played the title role in 1963. Did you know that in the Brazilian version of Planes, the Canadian character Rochelle was replaced by a Brazilian plane called Carolina Santos do Avião? The name is a reference to Santos Dumont, the Brazilian aviation pioneer. The character was voiced by Brazilian singer Ivete Sangalo, and the paint scheme of the character and its name on the scoreboards were modified to reflect this change. In this version, Brazil has 2 planes participating, since there is another Brazilian plane in the race that uses number 16. The bumper sticker Lizzie puts on Van's rear says Butte, which is a reference to the sticker on Buzz's butt in Toy Story 2, which also said Butte.
A little something to remember us by.
Did you know that to build the cars, the animators used design and lighting software very similar to that used by automotive designers? In Cars, the animators added bits of rubber coming off the tires as the tires degrade. The payphone Rusty and Dusty used in Cars 3 was designed all the way back in 2001 by artist Jay Schuster. It was the first thing he was asked to draw after joining Pixar, but it took 16 years for it to be used.
Really?
The Eiffel Tower seen in Cars 2 has a top the shape of a 1930s European spark plug. Its base contains the features of a French wire wheel. Radiator Springs is based on Seligman, Arizona.
The cutest little town in Carburetor County.
Oh, great. Just great.
Did you know the Cozy Cone Motel's design is based on the two Wigwam motels along Route 66 in Holbrook, Arizona, and Rialto, California? Another motel from the main chain survives in Cave City, Kentucky. The name Cozy Cone was inspired by the Cozy Dog Drive-In of Springfield, Illinois, which lays claim to being the first place to sell the corn dog. Did you know that during the end of production of Cars 2, Professor Z's lines in the interrogation scene with Rod Redline were changed to remove any references to radiation and used electromagnetic pulse instead of the original phrase, blast of radiation?
When hit with an electromagnetic pulse.
John Lasseter asked that the lines be changed out of respect for Japan, due to the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear disaster that happened there 3 months before the film's release in the United States. Did you know that the Italian name for a tire is gomma, which means rubber? And there are actually lots of tire shops in Italy called Casa della Gomma, meaning house of tires, just like Luigi and Guido's tire shop in Radiator Springs.
If you need tires, stop by Luigi's Casa delle Tires, home of the Leaning Tower of Tires.
Did you know the company name of the white-walled tires Lightning McQueen gets from Guido and Luigi is Fettuccine Alfredo? Alfredo is a white sauce. Did you know that the king has brown eyes at the beginning of the film? However, when he opens them after crashing, they have somehow turned blue. During the credits where he is in the museum with his wife, they have turned brown again. Did you know Cars was Paul Newman's last featured film before his death from lung cancer in 2008? It turned out to be the highest-grossing movie of his career. George Carlin, the voice of Fillmore, died of heart failure 3 months earlier. This was the highest-grossing film of his career as well. Paul Newman considered his performance as Doc to be the best he's ever done since The Verdict in 1982. Newman was known as a skilled race car driver, owner, and enthusiast.
Kid, you can beat these guys. Find a groove that works for you and get that lap back.
Did you know that the name of the bus character, Miss Fritter, is a likely reference to the teacher Miss Frizzle from the PBS animated series The Magic School Bus?
Please let this be a normal field trip. With a frizz? No way!
Miss Fritter has the first line of dialogue, being the single word, "Boo." Likely a reference to Delaria's character on the Netflix series Orange is the New Black.
Big Boo, this is Brooke, and Brooke, this is Big Boo.
Did you know in the 1957 animated film The Story of Anyburg, USA, the vehicles and the types of vehicles are very similar to those in Cars? The red sports car on trial bears a resemblance to Lightning McQueen.
His crime? Just guzzling alcohol and spitting flames.